All right, this is for 7.3, and these are the double angle formulas that you need to know. Not this one down here. So pause and write these down. These are the half angle formulas that you need to know, so pause and write this down. And also down here along the bottom, this tangent theta over 2, it's also equal to these two suckers. So pause and write those down. Okay, so this is kind of like 7.2 where we just use these formulas to do problems. Okay, so the first example in 7.3 says sine theta equals -7 over 25. Theta is in quadrant 3. Find sine 2 theta. Okay, sine 2 theta is not just multiplying this fraction by 2. We have to use the formula, sine 2 theta. So there it is, sine 2 theta equals 2 sine theta cosine theta. So I wrote that down. And it looks like we have sine theta. It's -7 over 25. But we have to find cosine theta. So this is where we draw a triangle on the quadrant. It says theta is in quadrant 3. So 1, 2, 3 down here. With theta closest to the origin. And sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite of this theta is going to be 7. The hypotenuse is 25. And to figure out where that negative goes, negatives never go on hypotenuses. The hypotenuses are always going to be positive. So the negative goes on the 7. And that makes sense because we're pointing down. It's like a negative y value. Okay, now, so this is opposite, and this is hypotenuse. And remember, the whole point was we were trying to find cosine. So to find cosine, we have to find the adjacent. So we have to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And when we do all that hot mess, blah, 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 dot, 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 we get a equals 24. Yeah, so there's a 24 over here. This is our adjacent, but think about it. Should this be a positive or a negative 24? It should be a negative because it's over here on the left-hand side. Yay. Okay, so let's go. It says 2, so 2 sine theta, we already knew that, -7 over 25. Cosine theta, that means adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent, -24 over hypotenuse, 25. And then this is like 2 over, pretend 1. And then you multiply across. And 2 times -7 times -24 should be 336. All over, 25 times 25 is 225. And that does not reduce. Let's go to cosine 2 theta. Again, we look for a formula. It doesn't matter which one you use. I think I'm going to use the first one. Again, it does not matter which one you use. If you only have cosine, then it might be better to use this second formula. If you only have sine, it might be better to use this third formula. But we have all the parts of our triangle, so we can use this first part of the formula. Cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. So now we're going to plug in cosine. Cosine was adjacent over hypotenuse. -24 over 25 squared minus sine squared theta. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. -7 over 25 squared. And when you do the math, I think that makes 576 over 225. Or is it 625? Poop. 625 minus -7 squared is 49 all over 625. And that plops out, you subtract the tops, 527 over 625. Woot woot. Hey, on this problem, I think 25 times 25 is 625. Idiot. I'm a doofus. Right, Barney? Right. Okay, so anyway, let's go to tan 2 theta. We could use this formula, or we could also remember that tan is the same thing as sine over cosine. Only tan 2 theta is the same thing as sine 2 theta over cosine 2 theta. And we already know those. Sine 2 theta came from part A. It's 336 over 625. All over. Cosine 2 theta came from part B. So 527 over 625. And then the 625s cancel. And you get 336 over 527. Woot woot. Yeah. Okay, let's do another one. This next one says, write the following expression as the sine, cosine, or tangent of a double angle, then find the exact value of the expression. So we're going to write as a double angle, then find the exact value using the unit circle. So we're going to look at our double angle formulas right here, and we're going to look for one that says 2 sine something, cosine something. Let's see here. 2 sine something, cosine something. It's this first one. So they gave us the right-hand side of the formula. They gave us the right-hand side, and they want us to find the left-hand side. So they gave us 2 sine cosine, and they want us to find sine 2 theta. So we want sine 2 theta. Well, what the heck do you think theta is? It's 22.5. So we're going to say sine of 2 times 22.5. And that makes sine of 45. And then that's the first thing that we want to type in our homework, because it says write as a double angle. This is it. Then it says find the exact value. So we look on our unit circle at 45 degrees for the sine, and sine is the y value. So it's square root of 2 over 2. That's our second answer. Bueno.